Hey, Thomas from Field Tennis. Today we're going to be talking about a neutralizing ball, and we're going to define what is a good ball. Because in most cases players at first believe that a good ball is a very fast ball, but today I will give you a very simple definition that you will know exactly what a good neutralizing ball is. And the reason why we'll be talking about good ball today first is because I want to give you a foundation of understanding of a neutralizing ball before we move on to heavy ball. So that will be the topic of the next video, where we're going to discuss what is a heavy ball and how to hit it. But before we go to such advanced levels, let's do something fundamental and understand what is a good ball from neutral rally position and what is a simple drill that you can use to practice it. So let's get into it. So let me do a few demonstrations first, that you understand what changes when it comes to the transition from lower level to higher level. So at lower level, let's say if we use NTRP rating system, somewhere until levels 4-0, so from 2, 3, 3, 5, speed troubles players. So speed tends to look like a good shot. If you hit a faster ball, it causes problems to players. So I will demonstrate that. I'm going to play with my left hand. So first Kaya is going to give me slow ball. You give me slow ball, Kaya. So I want to show you that with my left side I can control. So this one is in the court. So I can kind of control pretty well with my left hand a slower ball. That's a skill level of, I don't know, 2 or 2.5 NTRP. I can play. Now if Kaya gives me a faster ball to my left hand, so yeah, I don't have control, right? So I'm not very skilled with my left for this kind of ball. So when it comes fast ball, it's stressing me, and yeah, I barely put it over the net, right? So if Kaya now gives me a fast ball to my forehand, my normal forehand, I'm just gonna whack it back. It doesn't trouble me. This one I'm gonna leave. Yeah, I will just use her speed and hit the ball back quite effortlessly. Here we go, one more. I have no problem with the speed, even if I have to move a little bit. So speed doesn't trouble me. I can show you like this. I can play the ball very nice. I'm of course much more skilled on the right side. So I want to show you speed is not the thing that would hurt a player later on. So somewhere around 4-0 level this transition happens, where at first speed hurts opponents and later it doesn't hurt them. And so you have to figure out what is going to trouble them in a neutral rally. So right now we're not talking attack, but there's a neutral ball that can trouble every level of player, and we have to figure out what that ball is. So what is a good ball in tennis? A good neutralizing ball? It's a very simple definition. That's a ball that's rising as it's crossing the baseline. It's that simple definition. If the ball is rising when it's crossing the baseline, then it's a good neutralizing ball. Now what makes it a good neutralizing ball? First of all, because if it's rising, then it means it landed quite deep, so it's difficult to attack. Secondly, because it's landed quite deep, there is little time from the bounce to the hitter. So to the contact, there is less time than if the ball landed short, and then it's more difficult to time the ball. The less time there is from the bounce to your contact, the more difficult it is to time. And so lower level players will struggle with this more, and higher level players will struggle with this less, but nevertheless, it causes them some problems. And then the third reason why it's a good ball is because it goes out of your ideal strike zone. So ideal strike zone is where the stroke is the most effective and the most comfortable, and that's somewhere between the knee and the shoulder height, and actually a little bit lower. So I would move this knee and shoulder height. That's very common definition by coaches. I would move this a little bit lower, both, right? So I would say it's very comfortable to hit below the knee, somewhere here in the middle of your shin level here, and a little bit lower than shoulder height. So here is still comfortable. Shoulder height starts to become uncomfortable. So when the ball is rising, and you're somewhere here behind the baseline playing a neutralizing shot, the ball will tend to come out of your ideal strike zone and make your stroke uncomfortable. So I'm going to rally with my assistant Kaya now a little bit. I want you to observe the ball as it's crossing the baseline and try to notice if it's rising or falling and in what strike zone am I hitting the ball, right? So again, today we're not talking yet about, good get. We're not talking about heavy ball, right? Heavy ball is an advanced way of hitting this ball. We're just talking about ball like this. See that I was not heavy ball, it was just deep. This one a little bit long. It's just a deep ball with a little bit of top spin. See, like this one is not very heavy ball from Kaya, but this one is rising. You see, it's rising over the baseline. So, and this one is falling, right? So that's how we define in a very simple way what is a good ball and what is not a good ball. And the goal is to practice this neutralizing ball so that you are very good in neutral situation. You don't allow your opponent to step in and take the ball early. You keep them back, and then that's what makes you feel safe because they cannot attack you. So this is very important to establish at the start of the match when you're a little bit nervous. And if you play the ball short, then your opponent can attack it. And sometimes you think, okay, if I play the ball deep, then that's a good ball. Not really. If it's already falling over the baseline, that means that it doesn't have enough speed. All right, so now I've synchronized two cameras. We're rallying with Kaya. We're gonna watch who is better in keeping the ball rising over the baseline. We're not hitting heavy topspin, we're just hitting normal shots. So here we go. This one you can see better from the side camera. This one is falling, easy ball. That one is falling. This one is falling. So you see, these are relatively fast balls that you might think, oh, that's a really good ball. But it's not, because it's coming right in the strike zone. See, this one is rising and that pushes me back. This one is easy ball for me. This one is not easy ball. Oh, tough one, yeah? So I can just play neutral back. This one's still pretty good, yeah? This one's still rising, I cannot attack. Yeah, this one's still rising, I cannot attack. Yeah. This one is shorter, this one I could accelerate, this one I just have to play back because it's rising. This one coming out of my strike zone. And so on. So you can see how this goes and how you can very easily determine from the side view like this whether the ball was good or not and what kind of effect it has on the player. So for the end of this session, I don't want to complicate too much. I just want to give you one simple drill. If you're going to practice with a friend, the drill goes like this. You just call to each other. So when I hit the ball, Kaya calls out for me. Right now she doesn't have a microphone, so I'll be the one only calling her balls. So she calls out for me. Whether my ball is rising over the baseline or not is just yes or no. And I do the same for her. And we go like this a little bit. Who can reach a bigger number in good shots. And we see who wins after, let's say, 2 minutes or so. So I will not play 2 minutes, but just that you see how the drill goes. So I'm just going to call out from Kaya what I see. Yes. Yeah, that was her yes. This one is no, probably. You will not be 100% sure because it's difficult to tell exactly if the ball is rising or not. So this one is no. Yes. 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 Notice how I can tell yes before the ball bounces on my side. That is very important for your ball judgment ability, that you can recognize the ball that early. If you can say yes before the ball bounces here, that you've read the ball so well very quickly, then you also have the ability to make very quick decisions on how to respond to this ball. So here we go. Yes. 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 Oh, maybe no. Okay. So It's a very simple drill you can do. You just call to each other so that the player gets feedback. Even if you don't keep score or something, you just give feedback to the player whether they've hit a good ball or not. So again, just depth is not enough. You need a little bit of spin in order to make the ball rise over the baseline. And remember to try and call the ball out before the bounce. That's advanced skill. At first you can wait for the bounce and kind of really read the ball, and later on try to call out the ball, whether it's a yes or no. Will this ball be rising or falling before it bounces on your side? So this is the foundation that I would like you to practice a little bit before we move on to heavy ball. So next time we're going to talk about what is a heavy ball and how you can work on your stroke so that you can achieve such a heavy ball. So it's a more advanced version of a good ball. So let's call it a really good neutralizing ball. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.